If you're highly sensitive, you want to watch this video. There is a very big, specific, undercover trap that you're probably caught in. Watch this video. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, please click the little subscribe button, the bell to receive notifications when I release new videos. And if you've been with me for a while, thank you so much and welcome back. Today, we're diving into this very big topic. Every time I bring it up to a client, they're like, holy shit, that's me. I said, I know, it was me. So let's dive in. Do you make society your authority, your God? Do you pray to the measures and ideals that you set forth when you were young and didn't have a secure sense of worth, that these things, if I reach, will ensure that I know I'm enough? You probably did. I sure did. When we grow up in toxic homes with parents that are emotionally immature, who haven't done their work, who don't know that they're worthy, who don't know that they're enough, they're constantly projecting their unhealed version of themselves and wounds onto us, and then our identity gets skewed and we have an uncertain identity. You've heard me talk about this before. I should mention this because all of my courses are on demand right now, and when you join my Truth Room membership level 2, you get every single course in there for free. So the course I'm going to talk about right now is emotional rehab. Emotional rehab is anchoring that true self-identity. So often clients come to me and they say, my biggest pain is being connected to self, disconnected. I'd rather just not connect at all. So story time, right? So I have a client who I love, who will go unnamed. Been working with her for years. She's young, she's awake, she's amazing. Born to a family that's not awake. Born to a culture that's very strict. And she found herself young, but didn't have the mirrors. She found my work, thank God, and started to have a mirror and started anchoring into her true self. And she came to me the other day and said to me, Candace, I have resistance to connecting with my inner child. And we talked about it, and it's uncomfortable. And so she said to me, I know about her that she prays to the God of opinion, which, by the way, anyone who makes society their God, you're praying to opinions, because most people in the world have their opinions based on society, not on truth, meaning authentic decisions, authentic understandings, because they didn't do the deep dive of their inner child work. Hello, we're in an emotional dark age. So she needs these opinions, and her inner child told her that I just want to spend time in nature, not around people. And I said, yeah, sounds good. And she goes, oh, hell no. I said, why not? She goes, I'm mad at my inner child because she wants to take me away from people, but I need people. I go, no. You need opinions to know your worth. Your inner child is trying to show you how to get in touch with your inner guidance in nature. But she also wants you to not be around people, because every time you're around a lot of people, you abandon her for their opinion, which oftentimes goes against your natural wisdom. Take that in. And she said to me, yeah, that's exactly what's going on. I said, okay. So instead of being afraid of your inner child or resisting that, I want you to see it differently. Your inner child is waking you up to your wisdom so that you're no longer praying to the gods of opinion in society. We make society our God when we're not in touch with our own essence, our own worthiness, our own truth. We need that opinion to know we're enough to even have a sense of self until we do the deep dive into the shadow work and understand that it's not our fault we lined up with this. This is all that there was. We're also afraid to be successful in this world and not be successful. So we're like, oh, if I'm these things. But do you know how many very successful people come to me as my clients who have all the money, all the status, all the, and they're fucking not fulfilled? Because they did this without checking in with that. So her inner child is doing her a favor in her 20s. And I said, what you need to do is, instead of having your inner child run the show, never a good idea, have your inner child have an opinion. Do not abandon her. Go with her in nature and tell her, I'm taking you back with me for these opinions. But the more you go into nature, the more you connect with yourself, even though you're afraid you're going to lose it again because the opinions, don't worry about it, because you'll always go back. And over time, the more you're consistent with her or him, the more that wisdom drops in because self-trust is built. So your inner child is not separate from you. Your inner child has wisdom that might be different than societal's ideals. And so you're afraid and you blame her and you think she's stupid or he's stupid. And you're like, they're trying to sabotage me because I need opinions. Incorrect. They're trying to save you from opinions. So if you made society your God, you think you need to be rich and famous and skinny and pretty. And if you're a man, muscular and masculine and all the things. Great, it's fine to be those things. But do not become those things by trading in what's real for you. Living in alignment with our own way of being is so powerful. I didn't really fully tap into this. I tapped into this in my 30s, but I freaking anchored this in my 40s. And I realized how many expectations I held over myself and partners and like what things needed to be because it was still society as God. When I realized society is the thing I teach against, by the way, that society is not something to be prayed to. It's something to work in. Work within. Becoming your authentic self and then being something in society is the goal, right? And all my clients come to me who want to be a spiritual teacher or coach or whatever, and they say, or a musician, they'll say, I can't make money though being me in society. I said, really? Why don't you fully be you and see how that's what society needs? You're being the change. You're not fitting into something. You're being the change that society's shifting into. You guys are here to be the change, to up-level the old system, but you have to actually be strong enough in self to stay discerning with self, to stay committed to self, to do so. So when society was my freaking God, I was miserable because I would be conditional with myself. If I'm not measuring this standard, that I'm not enough. What I realized is, but I'm measuring my own standard where I am, and that's comfortable. And when you don't have parents or partners or friends or bosses who tell you, just be you. I want to share a story with you. I shared with one of my other clients last week that was my biggest lesson in authenticity. I might have shared this before, so if so, it's review. But when I was 17 years old and I got my first modeling contract in Osaka, Japan, they picked me for a huge contract with one of their top magazines and catalogs because of the way I looked when they met me. Now, I had months to go until I arrived in Japan for the contract. The contract was actually in Tokyo. And during those months, I got all nervous, like I have to be perfect. I don't want to mess it up and then them reject me. So I'll become the best version of myself. Well, becoming the best version of myself at 17, I was like really skinny, obviously, or I wouldn't have gotten that contract. But I watched my diet for the first time in my life. And I lost too much weight. Didn't know that me dieting was going to lose way too much weight, right? Because most people say, oh, it's so hard. Dieting's hard. Well, no, I dieted, meaning cutting out little things, and it made me plummet in the weight department. I get to the contract and they cancel my contract because now I look way too skinny for what they wanted. And their message to me was, we wanted you as you naturally are. I'm 17, I get the lesson of my life, and I think, oh my gosh, I was born perfect for my purpose, which is what I always say for a reason. They wanted me as I naturally am without even trying. I don't have to earn love. I don't have to earn my spot in the world. I just naturally am born perfect for my purpose. So you know what I did? Because I'm very driven. I went home. I gained all my weight back. I went back to try again. You know what? I got that contract 5 years in a row after that. I went back and I said, I'm just going to be me and I'm going to be successful just being me. Do you know how weird that is to conceptualize that the standards you think you need to be perfect are probably even crazier than the ones asked of you sometimes. But when we come from homes where we're never enough or there's something innately wrong with us, we're always trying to earn or be something different than we are because we think what we are didn't get the love of our parents. So it won't get the success in society. Incorrect. Society as your God is very dangerous. It means whenever the standards change, so does your identity. Please don't do that. Being in the modeling industry for 20 years was so many lessons, so many challenges, so many wins all at the same time. And what I learned ultimately is it was no longer lining up with my authenticity because I wanted to let myself paint my nails a certain color, dye my hair brown, which I did. And I can't do that if I'm in an industry that needs my image to be the same. I can't grow and express and be free. I wanted freedom. I still love the modeling industry for what it is in its own way if it works for you naturally, but there's going to come a time where you're like, you know what? Screw society. I just want to do my authentic truth in the world. But you have to be courageous enough to say, I'm going to be enough as I am, not by these standards, not by these opinions, not by these expectations, but really coming home to what's best for me. When I did that, I was like, wow, I realized how much I projected onto past partners, what they had to be based on my societal God. And when I realized, oh my gosh, my God is within and above, not in society, I said to myself, well, what do I want my partner to be? What's a good partner for me that allows me to expand and grow and be in my power? See, I used to pick really controlling dudes because I was like, oh, they'll control the narrative. I don't even know, right? When I was really young. Yeah, well, I could never be with a controlling dude now because I'm way too much in my power. I'd be like, what did you say to me? You guys who work with me one-on-one, you know, I'm not taking anything like that. I get to have an equal opinion. I get to have equality in all ways. That's freedom. So really think about how we have to upgrade our expectations and what's good for us as well as we upgrade and grow. And if you're on a conscious path, you're going to do that real quickly. You're going to outgrow things, you're going to update things, and you have to always check in with yourself. What's real for me? What's living on my own terms mean, regardless of what I think it should be, really according to not only ideals but expectations you think society has. And a lot of us who didn't have a secure sense of self growing up have really crazy high expectations that are never going to be attained by not only you, by a partner, by your expectations of yourself and a partner. Think about it. Trading in society as your God and starting to pray to the one true God, whatever it is for you, that's the way home. I hope this video finds you well. I hope you share this with at least one person if it resonated with you. Please go say hi to me on Instagram. Please check out my offerings. I just got to mention to you, we have a new offering now with Inner Work. It is now month to month. You can stay in as many months as you want. You don't have to sign up every 2 months. You can stay in as many months as you want. You can stay in 1 month and leave. If you do 5 months, you get a free month. So if you want to join my group coaching, which is the most affordable way to work with me one-on-one with a few other people, please check out Inner Work. Other than that, all of my courses are on demand. Also, if you join my monthly membership level 2, you get all courses for free and me live 4 times a month. So things to check out. Also, don't forget to watch my podcast, Misunderstood, Guiding Highly Sensitive People Through an Emotional Dark Age. I love you guys beyond, and I'll see you soon.